Alright, well hey everybody, we're back with another One Wasteland Weapon test for Fallout 76. As you can see, we have a Berserker's Gauss Rifle. Actually, a really good Berserker's Gauss Rifle. Berserker's effect, obviously, it let more damage whenever you have no armor resistance or damage resistance. Another 10% damage when aiming, which is pretty good. As I believe all the secondary damage effects are still multiplicative, so 10% might actually the 10% damage when aiming is actually really good compared to before it was kind of just mediocre. And then we have +1 perception, which is always good for a rifleman build. So, yep, Berserker's Gauss Rifle. The Gauss Rifle in this game has always been in a weird place because it was never really considered a very good weapon. It might be the best, maybe not the best rifleman weapon, but a pretty good rifleman weapon. I think the lever action was largely considered the best rifleman, just because the lever action had speed. It didn't have crazy damage, but it had a good reload. It had 5 rounds was more than enough for it. But yeah, the Gauss rifle was kind of just this very slow damage, but very hard hitting weapon. But it kind of got taken over by the dragon. Like the dragon, whenever the dragon was able to be legendary before the dragon became a legacy weapon, it kind of overshadowed the Gauss rifle, because if you wanted huge amounts of damage, you went with the dragon. But now that the dragon can no longer be legendary and damage is additive and not multiplicative, that kind of boosts the Gauss rifle back up. And if you are a rifleman build, you don't have to grind, gold bullion to get your Gauss weapon. Like the Gauss pistol or reputation. With the Gauss pistol, you need gold bullion. With the Gauss shotgun and the Gauss minigun, you need reputation and gold bullion. So for riflemen, our Gauss weapon's free. Well, not really free, you just have to grind normally for it. So yeah, let's see how we do on these gulpers. I tested on gulpers because they have a relatively good amount of health. That was 600 damage, it seemed. 700 damage. I can see. I am not doing this stealth. I don't have... You can put a suppressor on the Gauss rifle and go full on stealth rifleman with it. However, I don't play stealth. I have never liked stealth. I don't like enemies that don't fight back. That's the one reason I don't go with stealth. I mean, I might go for the first couple shots, but overall, I'm not trying to sneak around the entirety of West Tech stealth, you know what I mean? Alright, so that's a pretty good damage on the head. Alright, so, yeah. That's, what, 1,600 damage? Well, gulpers have around, I think, somewhere between 1,600 and, like, 1,800 health, so let's just go with 1,800 damage in 3 shots, which is not bad. Especially with a, yeah, almost 700 on a headshot. That's not bad. That was 700 on the headshot there. Now you can boost this damage a lot more, obviously. If you have a bloodied one, it's going to do more, and stuff like that. And I have high voltage Hefe on me. I don't know what that gulper is attacking over there, but 600 with a critical. Yeah, this is the only problem with the Gauss rifle. You really suffer whenever you're getting swarmed. It is not a rifle to deal with swarms. Not saying you can't, obviously, if you're good at getting headshots, but due to the slowness of the rifle, I generally don't think it's great versus getting swarmed. Yeah, I'd say that did pretty good. I mean, we'll go fight the Hermit Crab now. I think the Hermit Crab would be a pretty good test for this thing. Obviously, I have a good amount of armor pen on it, not a... Alright, now we're here with the Hermit Crab. And I have to say, well, I can be getting a lot more damage out of this thing. Like, obviously, if I had a stealth build, I could get, what, 3.7 times criticals, using crit savvy or better criticals, I can get a lot more damage out of this thing. However, in most cases, I don't really need more damage out of this thing. Like, let's say this thing was doing, like, 5,000 damage a shot, alright? What enemies have 5,000 health that you actually would need 5,000 damage, right? Most standard mobs are not going to have anywhere near close to 5,000. Like the gulpers back there had between 1,600 and 1,800. And yes, I could be one-shotting them. However, 2 to 3 shots is nothing. You make so much ammo in this game, and I don't consider a 2 to 3 shot kill to be a bullet sponge. to me, a bullet sponge requires like thousands and thousands of rounds, or even like, you go look at World of Warcraft and go watch like a raid boss fight, and look at how many times like a hunter or a mage will hit it, with a spell, or a warrior. To me, this game is not bullet spongy at all. Like, even something like as tough as with as much damage resistance or armor as a hermit crab is not bullet spongy. Because it has weak spots. See, that's the thing with all of these, is they all have weak spots. Oh, I crippled its head already. And I broke it. I have broken its AI. Apparently crippling the head on a hermit crab just kind of breaks it. Funny. I don't know. I kind of hope that Bethesda adds a new Gauss rifle into the game. Like, the Fallout 3 and New Vegas style one with, with the crank handle on the side, which they added back into Fallout 4 in the Creation Club. I really want that one added to the game. I think that one, would be really cool to add. I know it kind of just be the same as this one. However, I don't know. There's been no new Rifleman weapons or commando weapons. New actual weapons. Obviously, there's been like unique, unique ones of standard weapons, but they're like think about it. Pistol builds have gotten the Gauss pistol, and now they're getting the sorry about that, Crusader pistol. That's 2 new weapons for pistol builds, and they kind of needed that because pistols were always lacking. But Heavy Gunner is getting 3 new weapons. It has gotten 2 weapons with Wastelanders. It got the Gauss minigun and a plasma caster. Rifleman's got nothing. I mean, the last Rifleman weapon was a reskinned combat rifle, which was already in the game. Yeah, I'm just saying, Rifleman and Commando kind of need... I think they should stop having weapons that are both that you transfer between Rifleman and Commando. Like, don't make one that can be converted to full auto. Make, give the Rifleman, like, I don't know, some type of, like, elephant gun, Make Rifleman the heavy-hitting, like, big weapons, like, big rifles, like, like the Gauss rifle, like the Dragon. Then, in Commando, go for more rapid-fire stuff, like, maybe, like, add an elephant gun, or or, like, a Sharps rifle for Rifleman, and then, like, with, Commando, maybe add some more submachine guns to the game, something that fires real fast, like a P90 or a Calico submachine gun, or like an MP5. Something that fires real fast. An Uzi, even though Uzi might be more for a guerrilla. But you get what I mean. Alright, so now let's go. Okay, now we're where the supermutants are, Huntersville. So, you can actually get even more damage out of this with, I said before, like, obviously sneak attacks and better criticals and things like that. You can also use Demolition Expert, as I believe Demolition Expert affects every Gauss weapon, because they count as explosive. Which is kind of, well, to me, I would only use that on the, like, the Gauss minigun. Because Gauss minigun is fairly weak damage per shot. However, it's a rate-of-fire weapon. Let's see, can I hit him with iron? No? Didn't even hear that, apparently. I can't see. This dot takes up so much of the target. Huh, apparently I didn't have to aim. 25% equals 95. Still unhidden, though. Strange. Said, I don't usually enjoy stealth gameplay, however. I don't enjoy entirely stealth gameplay. Like, I'll stealth whenever it's convenient, rather than, walk around an entire place killing every enemy without ever being seen. People said the Gauss weapons don't work in VATS, yet I'm having a strange amount of success with it in VATS. Maybe it's the enhanced perception. Let's save that critical. Something big like that Overlord. 800 damage, not bad for a non-critical build. If you were a critical build and you had a Gauss rifle with like 50% more crit damage, oof, you'd be doing some good damage. But Gauss weapons, like, the only things that need tons of damage are the bosses, and the thing with bosses is that they have explosive resistance. Hello, you were doing a lot of damage to me. Healing gun, go! Hee hee. I love the healing gun. Fastest heals in the game. Faster than any stim pack. I can't actually see too well. That's the problems with having a true black TV, is people are like, oh, this game's too bright. I'm just like, I can't see anything, it's so dark. I'm hitting headshots that have very low chance to hit very easily. Is this thing glitched? No. Ooh, you. Go and die. Yep, knew it. Ah. Server's been very laggy. I don't know if you could tell there, but it, like, stuttered. I'm on Xbox, so usually PC stutters. Playing a game on PC, it was stuttering a bit. I know my PC is not exactly the most powerful, but it wasn't that graphically demanding of a game. It was a Unity engine game, and I think Unity engine just has a problem with stuttering. I guess that all depends on the coding and how much work you put into it, right? Also, in the lore in Huntersville, it says that the Brotherhood cleared this out. Obviously, we see the Brotherhood symbol there. Why are there super mutants here again? Are these, like, Brotherhood members that drank the water here? Because, like, the water here turned people into super mutants because they infected it with FEV. That'd be kind of neat. That'd be a neat storyline. Tell me if you think this would be neat. A bunch of former Brotherhood members that were all turned into super mutants. And, like, what do they do? Do they commit suicide? Do they continue living as, super mutants? Man, I can't believe they haven't explored that. Did Fallout Tactics have that? I know Fallout Tactics had, like, Brotherhood members that defected from the Brotherhood. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to cure the radiation. Oh well. Gauss rifle, I think it's pretty good for most of the standard mobs. However, I do have a problem with this thing with boss fights. So, the thing with most bosses, being the two biggest ones, being the Scorchbeast Queen and Earl Williams, have a lot of explosive resistance. So you do very little damage to them with this. I guess you can get headshots and maybe criticals will kind of ignore that, or supplant, or make better. I don't know. But this is a great weapon versus mobs. Standard mobs, trash mobs, world mobs, if you will. Bosses, Imposter, Sheep Squatch, you probably do pretty good damage. The alpha monsters in Project Paradise, maybe, depending on what spawned. Scorchbeast Queen and Earl Williams, no, I wouldn't kind of use this. I think for bosses that have a lot of health and you're going to be there a while in a group, you're going to want kind of a commando weapon, I feel. Just because rate of fire and damage per second is better than kind of the burst damage of Rifleman weapons. So yeah, tell me what you think about this Berserker's 10% damage, 1+1 perception Gauss rifle. I don't believe a person gave this to me. I believe I got this off of the purveyor or I found it. I still like to thank the person that gave me all those Gauss weapons for free. I hope he still watches my videos. I don't know if he does, because my videos have gotten kind of samey, because there's no new games out right now. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my secondary channel. It's a Fallout lore channel, all based around the weapons of Fallout, called Wasteland Weaponistics. It will be linked at the end of this video. So yep, see you.